Hey everybody. Hey everybody, it's been a long time. Just want to give you an update because it's been a long time since I updated on YouTube. I'm normally go live and do stuff in the Benzo Recovery page on Facebook. I was an admin there for a while and so forth. But right now, let me see how long it's been since I've been off benzos. So I got a story for you. Not all great. So it's been 4 years, 9 months, 29 days. So almost four years and 10 months. If you don't mind, I'm going to do a little work while I tell the story. I can multitask now, which is pretty kick-ass. I could sort of then, but it hurt. But I got some stuff I got to do. And since my story's kind of long, I'm sure you won't mind. I don't remember the last time I came onto YouTube, but I forgot my login for the longest time, so I couldn't even update you guys through here. Now managed somehow my computer remembered my login, which is really weird. But it's been so long since I've been on here that it's I don't remember the last thing that I actually told you guys about. But I'm going to run by my whole story, and it's going to be a quick version of everything that I've gone through. Almost 5 years ago. It's been 4 years, 10 months. Little bit before that, I was on. I went to the doctor for some generalized anxiety, and I mean, I've tried a lot of antidepressants and whatnot, and it didn't do anything other than make me worse. So one day I heard about benzos, and they said you can kind of take it anytime you want when you're having a bad day and stuff like that. It sounded pretty awesome. So I was prescribed Xanax. He said I could use it every day if I wanted to. It's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. Millions of people take them for years. It's not an issue. I really didn't do much research. So I started taking Xanax at 0.25. And I didn't even really take that much half the time. And it helped a lot. I decided to start taking it daily. Within 2 weeks, I went through interdose withdrawal. Bad. I'd wake up in the middle of the night sweating and shaking, and it scared the hell out of me. So I told my girlfriend about it, and she said, well, maybe you need to just take it a little bit longer and see how it goes. You know, maybe you just need to take more or whatever. I mean, at that time, I didn't think much about the medication, you know, so it sounded right. So I said, okay. So I started taking it daily, a little bit in the morning, a little bit later in the afternoon, and stuff like that. But the interdose withdrawals were nuts, you guys. So, and this happened like right away. So nothing I could do. Went back to the doctor, freaking out, and he put me on Klonopin, took me off the Xanax. The Klonopin just made me feel worse. I didn't have as much interdose withdrawals, but I was feeling worse. Like I was just in a constant state of terrible withdrawal. So, yeah, that sucked. Scared the hell out of me. He didn't care if I stayed on or not, but he was just going to rip me off. I did a 2-week taper. Obviously, that's stupid and made no sense, but I was previously, a year before that, I was on Valium for like a year, just taken as needed, and I got off of that just fine. I did a 2-week taper, no big deal. So obviously, I kindled myself in this process, which I didn't think about for a long time because I didn't even know Valium was a benzo. I didn't know anything about these pills. So let's see. I still lose train of thoughts really easy. Klonopin. Okay, 2-week taper. So 2-week taper, and the withdrawals was so insane. I remember recording videos, and I remember looking back at the videos once in a while and going, man, I really tried to play it down because I thought I was going to get better sooner than later. So I tried to be really positive and supportive for people and stuff. Hey, how you doing? That's great. I'm glad you're on. Just telling my story and stuff like that. It's telling me my connection is unstable. I don't know. I'm just going to wait a second. I haven't been on YouTube in years, so I'm trying to do an update. My anxiety is really high tonight. I needed to distract. Well, whatever. I'm going to continue. I hope, because it says your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. If you're having trouble hearing me or seeing me, just type it in the comment. If not, I will continue. So anyway, I did my 2-week taper of. Thank you. I did my 2-week taper, which is so stupid. And I mean, it's funny what I know now, considering. So after that, I went into extreme withdrawal, and it was like unlike anything that I have ever felt, gone through. Just nuts. I didn't sleep for about 7 days, I think, give or take. I know I didn't sleep at all, not even a minute. And I went back to the same psychiatrist, and he prescribed me Remeron. Now, mind you, I wasn't disappointed that he gave me Remeron because I was initially in the group Benzo Buddies, and they told me about Remeron, which now is finding out it's one of the worst ideas I could have had. So I took the Remeron. It did put me to sleep. It worked like it was supposed to, but I didn't know at the time Remeron was a antidepressant, antihistamine. It hits like 31 receptors. And the psychiatrist told me it's one of the easiest drugs to get off of. He's like, if you have trouble with getting off of medications, this is not one of them. And I believed him still, which is so fucking stupid of me, considering what I was going through. But I was so out of my mind. I needed something. I needed to sleep, because at any point, sleep was going to make things a little better, which it did. I mean, I was still in hell, but you know the drill. So I started sleeping, but I was so beyond scared from being so sick. My anxiety was not helping. At that point, I didn't know that I was having such massive issues from Remeron. I figured it was all benzo related, which a lot of it was, don't get me wrong. Sorry, I'm multitasking a little bit here. But I was sleeping, which I needed, and I couldn't do my job anymore by myself. I mean, I run my own business, but I couldn't do it myself anymore. So my girlfriend was helping me with that, which was good. I would stay home, and she would go out and find stuff for me. What's up, Chris? I'm a reseller by trade, so I normally go out to thrift stores and whatever and find stuff, sell it, blah, blah, blah. It's what I do. Been doing it for 20 years. So anyway, doesn't make sense. Is it orange? Yeah. Whatever. Okay. I was on Xanax, and then they turned me to Klonopin. This all happened in 3 months. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I haven't been on here in a few years, so I'm just updating everybody. So anyway, I started sleeping. I think it was 6 months to a year. I honestly don't even remember at this point. It probably about a year that I didn't go out, other than to try to walk a little bit, and that I shouldn't have even been doing. It was just nuts. The whole situation was nuts. So, let's see. If you recall my old videos, I would get a heart rate monitor. My heart rate was going into the 200s at one point. That was nuts. That's just ridiculous. And I'd still try to walk. I'd still try to do things because I figured my healing would be around the corner. So I didn't want to turn to stone. And, that I never did turn to stone, but sure felt like it. But I did try to walk. I would walk to the store. I mean, this all happened when I was living in Texas. And I had to move back to the Midwest, closer to friends and family. So I had to do a big fucking move in the process. And that was not easy. I'm going to miss a lot of things when it comes to what happened. But just the point being is it was unreal. It was crazy. Let's see. So, hello. Yeah, that's about the right symptoms. Chest pain. I actually lost my list of symptoms. I had a list, but in time I lost it. I'm making a new one because I'm seeing a neurologist soon for, a separate issue, but I always like to update them with my latest symptoms and whatnot. And it's actually hard to come up with a list because there's so many symptoms. And sometimes you can't think of them all, even when you're feeling them at the time, because there's so many. Even though I have a lot less now, there's so many. Money. Easy. I would just say money. I mean, they're making so much money off of it. And I mean, I can go on and on. I don't really go on about government stuff, but seriously, it's probably just all money. I mean, the opioid thing happened, but honestly, that was way out of hand. Yeah, I mean, that was getting crazy. I mean, same thing with the benzo crisis, and it will happen eventually. Where, they're starting to take it off the market. They're starting not to prescribe it as much. Anyway, back to my story. So, like I said, I think it was like a year before I went out. And when I did start going out, my girlfriend was driving still, doing all the driving. And I think she did that for another couple years. I still couldn't drive. I would do short drives to like the post office and whatnot, and just things that I think I could force and handle because I had to really concentrate to drive. It was really hard. So, and to this day, I still do that same routine. So we lived in this apartment. We lived in an apartment, blah, blah, blah. I was starting, just doing my job at home, blah, blah, blah. Well, my apartment got flooded out. I'm not going to get into that, but there was a pipe under the apartment. And it burst and flooded my whole apartment. So stress. Talk about stress. I can't escape stress. Stress is one of the hardest things for me. So moved into another apartment a couple buildings away. It's a lot harder to live in this apartment. I'm on the second floor. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this whole time, about a year after I got off benzos, is when I decided to start tapering the Remeron. Even though I wasn't ready, I had to start because I had a good feeling the Remeron was causing me a lot of trouble, which in the end I realized was true. So I would say I was tapering the slowest somebody could possibly taper. So 3 years later, I went from 7.5, which realistically was like 6.8, because I never did start at 7.5. I just kind of took a chunk off before I even started. 0.5, which realistically was like 6.8, because I never did start at 7.5. I just kind of took a chunk off before I even started. Just see, but whatever. So I would do 1 gram at a time. So say I was at 6.8, I tapered to 6.7. 2 weeks later to a month, I would do 6.6 to 6.5 to 6.4. And it just kept going slowly but surely. And then I finally got down. This time, I was healing really slowly. But it was so slow I couldn't really tell. But I was starting to be able to do more stuff and whatnot. I got down to about 1.0. No, 1.0. So 1 milligram of Remeron. And at this time, the cuts were getting harder, but nothing I really was worrying about. But I was starting to drive a little more. I was doing my job by myself finally. But it took 4 years for it to happen. And then I cut the Remeron from 1.0 to 0.8. So that was double. And not too much happened. I didn't feel well, and my anxiety got really, really high. But it was strange. The anxiety was a little far off for me. I didn't understand why it was so high. I didn't think it was that big of a cut, but I'll get to that in a sec. But so a month and a half after that cut, I went from 0.8 to 0.6. A week and a half later, I got thrown into the biggest withdrawal. And this just happened. This was like 3.5 months ago. Into the biggest withdrawal that I encountered since benzos. I cried every single day. And to this day, I still cry almost every other day. But I've realized I tapered it too fast and too much, which is funny because realistically, the cuts are very small. But I guess for me, it was just too much. And I had no idea why that tiny little amount made such an impact, but it did. So without getting too upset about it right now, I have been stabilized. I updosed to 1.2 milligrams from 0.6. So I'm on 1.2 Remeron, and I've been on that for 3.5 months. And I'm starting to stabilize to a point. I'm sure the drug is stabilized, but my nervous system was so fucking shot from that. There's always a little more information there, for the story, but I need to tell the story in a short amount of time. Let me see. Do you drink alcohol? You shouldn't even drink alcohol with benzos. You'll kill yourself. And if I drank alcohol now, I would be in forever horrific withdrawal. It hits the same receptors. So if you have that issues, you need to go to a group like Benzo Recovery on Facebook and, ask some questions, because stuff like that could kill you. Anyway, I'm super clean. I eat super clean. I don't do drugs. I don't take medicine. I rarely even take an aspirin. I am doing everything I can to be as vigilant as I can. So basically, this is where I'm at. I'm going to try to stabilize even longer. I go through hell waves right now. Then when I feel better, I feel a little better. And, I'm going through ups and downs versus constant. I do believe a lot of my problems were Remeron, and I'm still trying to get off Remeron. And it's still going to take me a while, because, I might not start tapering for another 6 to 8 months again. So, and after that, it'll probably take me a couple of years just to get off that little bit, because my body can't take it. So I have to do it really fucking slow. I want to have a positive ending for you guys, because, we've all been through hell. But I just wanted to give you a little rundown on my story and tell you that I'm still here and I'm still alive, and probably a little more gray in my hair and stuff like that. But I've been forcing life. It's been really hard. I do manage to do my work, and it's not easy to do. I should have been on disability a long time ago, but there's no way to get it, Yeah, gabapentin's it's another one that's really, really, really hard to get off of. It's just not. Chris, I used to watch videos on YouTube. I don't do any of that anymore. I've been in this for almost 5 years. I realistically don't need to hear more people's horror stories and stuff. I don't obsess about benzo withdrawal syndrome. I don't do it. I don't have the time. I need to live, and I have the information that I need. I'm never perfect, because I even screwed up my Remeron, and realistically I thought I knew it all. But to be honest, it's really rare that I go to groups anymore. I do live videos now, more or less in the Benzo Recovery group, just to vent when I'm having bad days. It does not hit the same receptors. That is not true. I don't remember what it is, but I'll even Google it right now. I know it does not hit the same receptors as benzos. That I'm 100% sure. Gabapentin, what receptors? Let's see. I can't find my. It does not bind and modulate the GABA receptors, nor does it affect GABA transport or metabolism. Gabapentin is a gabapentinoid, which acts as an inhibitor of the. Jeez, I need glasses. Sorry, I don't see well. The A25 subunit containing voltage-dependent calcium channels that are linked to neurotransmitter release. There you go. So it's not a GABA A, GABA B type drug, but so way like taking another benzo or drinking alcohol would. So yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much my long story, really short. Even though it's been 25 minutes, I've been in this for 5 years. And realistically, having 7 people watching right now is pretty cool, considering I haven't been on in a couple of years. So yeah, that's that. Love you guys. I got some work to do, and I will come on in a couple of days and just talk about bullshit and vent. and you can ask your questions. And I'll try to answer them the best I can, like I'm doing now, you know. I'll do the best I can. I mean, I'm not all knowing, but I've been in it, so I feel I'm pretty well versed. But I mean, I'm not perfect. I mean, I even fucked up my taper, so I ain't perfect. That's for sure. I'm still in it 5 years later. So, but in the time before I fucked up the taper, every year I was getting better. So healing does definitely happen, even when you're on another antidepressant, which I hope you're not. But if you are, you'll still heal. Sometimes our protracted people can take a while. Just don't get too bogged down with the idea that it might take a long time, because that's not for it doesn't happen for everybody. I mean, it's pretty rare that people have these long protracted withdrawals. I'm just unlucky because, fuck, I don't know why. I don't know why my body decided after 2 weeks to put me through a horrific withdrawal, like a interdose withdrawal thing. I have no idea. And then it turned into like this horrific case. Don't get it. And on my videos, just looking back, I could see how I was just trying to be so positive. And I wish I would have just been more honest about how I was doing, because I was doing a lot worse than I was portraying. Okay, that's it. My throat's starting to hurt. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I mean, it happens. But just know it does get better, little by little. Just keep your head up and try to clean up your diets, and if you smoke, try not to. Just try to lead the healthiest life you can, and don't overdo it. People always say you need to exercise. I haven't exercised realistically in 5 years. 5 years. I want to. I'd love to. But every time I do, it fucks me up. I could probably get away with a little bit more now, but not gonna. Not yet. Thanks. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's funny because I looked at some of my past videos and my hair is completely dark, and now I'm all gray. That's what it fucking does to you. Well, not really. My age does it to me. But benzo withdrawal does not discriminate. All right. Well, you all take care. I'm gonna run off. I'm gonna come back on in a day or two. And if there's a way you can, like, I don't know much about YouTube anymore. I was surprised I could go live, because the last time I tried, I couldn't do it a long time ago. But if there's a way you can, like, follow me so I come on, yeah, do it. And we can ask some questions and talk about this bullshit. All right, guys. Love you all.